Good evening, or actually good night, because at the moment of shooting of this video it's 1 o'clock at night, but I will not have any other opportunity to shoot this video because I have too much other stuff going on. But most importantly, the reason why I'm making this video, because great news came out today, or actually technically yesterday, that the Nürburgring will be building a new exit on the Nordschleife, which will be highly beneficial for the challenging, tricky traffic situation on the Nordschleife during the public sessions. If you've never been to the ring before, make sure to visit it because it's a fantastic place, but the only thing you need to know, there's going to be a new exit which will benefit the exciting traffic situation. If you have been to the ring before, or more often, I'm going to give you my 2 cents, probably 20 cents, why it is great and why things can still be improved. So let's get started. Here's a quick snippet of how situation looked like last weekend. Probably 500 cars or so in a traffic jam after a very busy evening session. And yeah, you are spending over an hour to get off the track in a traffic jam. Time waste is of course not ideal, but there's also not only time loss, but also material loss. Because when you're coming in after a very fast lap, your car is hot, especially on a hot day, and then you need to come to an emergency braking for a traffic jam. There is no cooling anymore because you're not driving, there is no wind coming into your radiators or brakes. Your car might get overheated. Over the last couple of years, we had situations where cars would overheat, overboil, spill coolant, or worse, catch fire or maybe burn down completely. It has happened. Or, in the better case scenario, the car will not burn down, but your brakes will, with addition of the drive shafts, etc. Happened also last weekend to us with the Alfa Romeo that I was driving during that by now more or less famous rage rant of flashing video. So if now you can avoid that traffic jam and get on a public road immediately and start your cooling down process, I think that's quite good. It's fantastic, it's amazing. So if we can avoid traffic jams to an extent, and more importantly, if we can avoid these dangerous, technical, mechanical, challenging, dangerous situations. So that's a win-win. Now, what I want to say is this exit, a lot of people have been asking for a very long time. Why is Nürburgring not building it? This plan has been in the works since 2019 or even before that. But we are in Germany, everything takes time, and this plan had to go through many approvals, not only from like the federal government, because it's a public road involved, but also local governments needed to give all of their approvals, all the local villages saying like, we might be having less traffic now coming through our main street and have less customers. Or we're gonna have a lot more traffic coming through our street and that's going to affect the housing prices in the area. So, and what about all the assholes who is going to be drifting out of this or that? Valid concerns. So, finally we're here, it's public, it's announced, and the construction will begin this winter, and here we are. Important reminder, this also means that the track is closed over winter. From 17th of November is the last day you can drive until somewhere mid-March usually. So do not, you can come here, sometimes it's beautiful when it's covered in snow, sometimes it's horrible and muddy and foggy and wet and you don't want to be here, but yeah, for track activities, do not come here in the winter between November and March. Getting sidetracked, yes. So let me show you what this means in terms of traffic. So I'm gonna use my fantastic Photoshop paint skills. No, Photoshop skills. So here we have the Nürburgring Nordschleife. So you have 500 cars or something, and you have the opportunity on a public session Nürburgring to go either straight for the for another lap. Still you have to go through the barrier. But if you want to get off the track, there is this very narrow double lane road, and one lane as of today can lead you straight again for another lap or get off the track to the roundabout, or optionally go to the car park, try to find a parking spot, and if there is no spot, you have to go again here, so you meet this other traffic, and then you go to the public road to leave the track. The problem here is you have also people coming from here that want to enter the track. You have people coming from here that want to enter the track, and also from here, from the ticket office, that want to enter the track. So this roundabout is the biggest issue. Now, if it took 5 years to create, Control Z, to create, which is going to be this new exit directly to the roundabout, if it took over 5 years to get permissions for that, to change the roundabout, which is going to be still the biggest bottleneck, going to take forever. I sincerely hope that someone from the government is watching this and saying like, I'm gonna prove this Misha wrong. We're going to change it next year. It would be fantastic. But as of now, there is a big issue of this roundabout. Not only there's like four flows of traffic coming through. As of now, we have issue number one is that before you can enter the track, you need to have a valid ticket. So we have a marshal standing here and asking everyone who's coming from all these directions onto here. He's asking, do you have a ticket? And locals, they show already ticket out of the window. Yes, I have. Please let me in. Let me go. I want to go on track. I want to do my lap. But you have also lots of tourists who are coming, don't speak a word, let alone German, but sometimes also English. And they're like, what do you want from me? First, roll the window down. Excuse me, where do I buy a ticket? Can I go here? Where is Brunchen corner? Valid things. Things happen, but you have to imagine like, okay, that takes maybe a minute, maybe more, and 50 cars or so is already an hour when it happens. So a lot of time is lost on that. In general, my opinion is that if you enter the car park, you're allowed to enter the car park as a driver only. Back in the days when it was a lot in the car park, I would find this amazing, and I still find this amazing for the drivers, because this means if you're actually driving the track, you get to chill here, you can do your tire pressures, you can do whatever, you are actually with people who are there for a purpose to actually drive the track. So I find this situation actually cool and amazing. However, for the traffic purposes, this creates so much mess, so that's kind of tricky. The second problem that we have, and the main issue, from what I understand from the press release and from the, from the Instagram post of the Nürburgring, is that it means that the traffic will have the option to go here only on busy days, but as of now, it will still go here and optionally also through here. The problem that it creates is that it's still, we have this four-way flow system, but more importantly, people who are actually stuck here in the car park and they want to go for another lap, they need to come out here still, go through all this roundabout, and even one additional car, let alone 2 or 3, especially after the track reopening, creates a lots of pressure, lots of traffic pressure. Need to come all the way through the roundabout, show their ticket, wait for someone else to show their ticket or roll down the window, and then come in. Unnecessary movements. So what I personally would like to see to avoid all this situation, for the ideal, in my purpose, ideal case scenario, is that this new exit stays permanent. If you want to get off, you will get off here. If you want to go to the car park, that is fine, but we're gonna revert to the old situation of before, I think 2 years ago or so, where everyone can enter without need for tickets. Sorry, I'm speaking of ideal case scenario. Or you can still, you have to show a ticket, but you can go either straight onto the track, or you can also go onto the car park. But more importantly, you cannot get off immediately here, because if you want to get off immediately onto the road, you do it beforehand. This means, most importantly, is if this is one-way road traffic, people from the parking lot do not have to go all the way through the roundabout, adding to the traffic issues, but they can go, like in the past, just straight onto the track directly. And this, I think, eases up a lots of issues on the roundabouts. So, of course, this new exit will solve a lot of issues, as mentioned, technically, and also from the business perspective. But yeah, another thing, we have to be also realistic. I really hope that no one is going to try to do like, oh yeah, let me do Dorifto and do here and crash into somewhere or into someone. Stuff like that happens. I think, honestly, we will see a divider between the two roads, 2 lanes, because people will try to do it and government will have to do something about it, like we saw at the ED gas station. Now you have dividers for exactly that reason. And we have to make sure that with the new traffic exit, no one is going to be sending too fast here and create an accident. Like a biker that went into Performante, when was it, Nuno? 2, 3 years ago? So yeah, it's going to be, we are going to see maybe some interesting situations through there. In short, yeah, these are my 2 cents, 2 additions. I like the situation, but I think more needs to be done for what is happening actually here in the car park and the roundabout. However, I also do believe that this is done this way so the Nürburgring can actually measure if these new measures have any effect on the current situation. Because if you're gonna revert too much at the same time, it's like building a car. If you change too much, you don't know what actually made the effect. So if we're gonna do that, I'm sure probably in a few months afterwards they're gonna change the traffic situation in the roundabout and see how that is going to affect the whole situation. I sincerely hope so. Finally, a couple of comments. Some people have been asking to open the Breitscheid exit, the second exit in Adenau. Well, it is open. People can get off there. I actually got off there twice in the last week. Once you saw in one of the recent video with Fiat 500. So you can get off there, it's not an issue. It's the getting on that is not allowed anymore because of the safety reasons. So there is that. Another option would be getting off at T13. I have gotten off at T13 a couple of times when there was like a technical defect, then the marshals would let me off. But since it's really going through the village and a couple of, I think there's like some house there. I'm not sure if it belongs to Nürburgring or actually like some private owner. And it's quite a tricky exit route. I'm sure the track officials do not want to create any issues. But yeah, in short, I want to go to bed. So I applaud this decision, but I think more needs to be done. But overall, I'm super excited, even just simply to avoid the traffic jams, the smoky brakes, burning cars and whatsoever. So but reality is we need to see how it's going to work, and that's it. So I'm happy we're there and excited for next season, honestly. Simple as.